Well, the White House sending out a social media script to Hollywood celebrities to help push its immigration agenda. And on cue, Tinseltown obliged.
I'm Bobby Cannavale. I stand with immigrants.
I'm Rosario Dawson, and I'm the descendant of immigrants.
I am an immigrant.
I'm an immigrant.
I stand with immigrants.
I stand with immigrants.
I am an immigrant.
I stand for immigrants, 100%.
Well, I'm going to start with you, Eboni. Okay, so on the surface, the White House sending out a script, it doesn't surprise me. Hollywood and the White House have always been kind of doing that thing back and forth. Right. My concern is I don't know if I agree with the script. In other words, you saw Bobby Cannavale, you saw Rosario Dawson complaining about immigration, but I think the issue here is illegal immigration, not just immigration, right?
I think you're right. And you know what? It's got to be Donald Trump that makes that clarification. Because it's Trump's message that's talking about immigrations, and it's both worked tremendously in his favor, and some say that it's hurt him with Hispanic and Latino communities. So now it's up to Trump, right, to go out there and clarify. And he said it for sure, but he's got to make this crystal clear. He's got to control his message. I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking specifically
illegal immigration. So you okay with
Hollywood?
100%. Picking up the cue, the script from...
Of course, because look, I think most people know that Hollywood and the White House, as you pointed out, have a long history. They're a very progressive group, generally speaking. I don't think that's a shocker.
All right, let me go to you, Gina. What do you say? Hollywood taking the script from the White House, bad or good?
No, I have a problem because my taxpayer dollars, my tax dollars are paying for this, Eric. And let's remember this, what's good for the goose, right? Because let's say that the next administration wants to put out propaganda talking about how great it is to build a wall or whatever it is. Oh, there'd be such outrage, Eric. This is what it is. Let's call it what it is. It is taxpayer-funded government propaganda. This is just wrong.
What do you say, Mercedes? Am I wrong if I don't have a problem with this go back and forth? I honestly, I don't think it's that big. I don't think it's a huge deal that the White House does this. In fact, as Gina points out, if it's a Republican in the White House next time, I hope they do it too.
Well, I think the White House should just send the T-shirt over to Melania Trump. I mean, she's an immigrant, too. I mean, come on, Eric. Like, we all are immigrants. It's kind of this crazy notion that we're not for immigrants. Obviously, our nation was built on immigrants, on immigration. But I think that they're trying to send a very unconscious, subconscious message out to the American people, like as if we don't want to deal with the issue of illegal immigration, which we know is a critical issue that we need to deal with. Yes, we want immigrants in our country, but we want immigrants to come in legally, and we need to make sure that those who are born in our country are taken care of in the sense that they have access to education and to jobs, and I think both can coexist. But it's unfortunate that the White House, like they did, and they did this earlier with the gun violence, where they said stop gun violence. They brought Hollywood in, also did a very similar social media campaign, that they're using these issues to create problem, to send out a message that I think doesn't necessarily tell the whole story.
Go ahead, Eboni.
I think the celebs are not being used, though, Mercedes. I think a lot of them really like this kind of opportunity. This allows them to look substantive and look like they've got some real skin in the game. Seriously, because a lot of them are seen as shallow and superficial. What better way to combat that than to talk about, hey, I'm standing up on this super strong political issue. I think they love it.
And what do you think, Gina? You think they come up with this script on their own, or they need these talking points coming from the White House?
Oh, definitely coming from the White House. And their whole intention, Eric, is to muddy the waters and to not talk about the real issue, like you said, is illegal immigration. Like Eboni said, that Donald Trump is going to have to clarify. But I do see one positive thing coming out of that, and that is I see a lot of Hollywood people coming out and realizing that they've been used, they've been brainwashed like everyone else, and coming out and saying, hey, guess what? I think I'm a conservative now. So that's one good outcome.
There you go. We're going to leave it right there. Coming up.